Hi everyone, you're welcome back to my channel. My name is Nancy, and if you're new to my channel, kindly subscribe, share and like my videos, and also put on your notification bell to be notified when I upload new videos. So this is a requested tutorial, and in today's class I'm going to be showing you how to make a shirt. So these are the essential measurements we need: the shoulder measurement, the bust circumference, the shoulder to waistline, the waist circumference, the hip circumference, and the length of the shirt. So let's get started. The amount of fabric I used in making this shirt is 2 yards. The first step is to fold the fabric into two. To manage your fabric, make sure the fabric is folded exactly the way I folded mine. To know the length of the fold, you use the length of the shirt measurement. The length of the shirt measurement is 25 inches, so I added about 4 inches to that, and that is 29 inches altogether. So the length of this fold I'm working with is 29 inches. So for now, we are going to be handling just the front piece first. So I folded the edge of this side of the fabric. So this fold is the overlapping fold in the center front of the shirt, where we are going to be attaching the buttons to one side of the fold and making the button hole on the other part of the fold. Now, to get the button allowance, I'll divide this fold into two. Since the wideness of the fold is 2 inches, I'll divide it into two, and that will be 1 inch. I'll mark this straight down to the length of the fold. Please also take note that the placement of our measurements will start from this new line. The first measurement I'll be placing on this fold is the shoulder measurements. The shoulder measurements I have here is 15 inches. I'll divide 15 inches by 2, and that'll be 7.5 inches. But my client doesn't want this shirt to be too fitted, so I'm going to be adding extra 1.5 inches sewing allowance to that shoulder, and that will be 8.5 inches altogether. To get the slant shoulder, I'll be marking 1.5 inches below the shoulder point. To connect this point to the tip of the fold, the next step is to mark the neck measurements. The neck measurements I'm using here is not a standard measurement, but I usually use it for a medium and a small size person. So it's also advisable to measure the round neck of your clients. So the neck width I'll be working with here is 2.5 inches, while the neck depth is 3 inches. Now I'll connect these points together to form a round neckline. The next step is to mark the armhole line. So for the armhole line, I'm going to place my tape on the edge of the shoulder slope to mark 7 inches. 7 inches isn't a standard measurement, but I usually use 7 inches. So when I'm done sewing, I can actually shape the armhole to the exact size I want it to be before attaching the sleeve to that. This new horizontal line will be the bust line. The next step is to place the tape vertically to mark the waistline. So the waistline is 15 inches. And the length of the shirt is 25 inches. I added 2 inches to that for the sewing allowance, and that made it 27 inches. To achieve the armhole curve, I'll divide the armhole line into two to get the midpoint. Now I'm going to make the armhole curve. The next step is to place the bust circumference. The bust circumference is 36 inches divided by 2, that is 9 inches, plus 2 inches sewing allowance to the side. If you want your shirt to be really free, you can make it 4 inches. Then for the waist circumference, I'll divide the waist circumference by 4, plus 2 inches sewing allowance by the side. And on the hemline, I'll divide the hip circumference by 4. Our hip circumference is 40 divided by 4, I have 10 inches, plus 2 inches sewing allowance by the side. So let's take about 1.5 inches upward on this side, just to give a little curved shape on the bottom side of the hem. Now I'll be cutting out the front piece as shown. So this is the extended center front of both pieces, which the fold is going to be made. So the next step is to place this front piece on the folded fabric to cut out the back piece. For the back piece, I folded the fabric into two. I placed the front piece on the back piece as shown, making sure that there is a little allowance above the front piece. Take note that when making a shirt, the back piece should be 2 inches higher than the front piece. I'll place my tape 2 inches above the shoulder slope of the front piece to mark the new shoulder slope for the back piece. The next step is to trim by trimming out the shoulder slope of the back piece first and following the shape of the front piece. So we have different method in placing the front piece on the back piece, but I choose this method because I think it's simpler to explain and also easier for beginners to be able to their own shirts without physical training. The next step is to mark the neck measurements for the back piece. So I made a straight line starting from the shoulder slope of the front piece first and connected it to the neck width of the back piece. So you can see how very simple it is. So let's get started with the sewing. So I'm going to fold the placket by 1.5 inches, and I'm also going to further fold the edge of the placket in by half an inch. Secure both sides with straight stitches, and I'll also repeat the same sewing process for the other side of the front piece. So this is how the stitching should be. You can even make a double stitch very close to each other on the edges just to make it look more professional. The next step is to place the right side of the front piece on the right side of the back piece to secure the shoulder slope by half inch. So after securing the shoulder slope, you can see that the back is actually longer than the front. In this case, you need to adjust the front piece to the same level with the back piece as shown. Now the next step is to secure the sides of the shirt by 1 inch. Now I'm going to take the shirt to the sewing machine to secure the hem of the shirt by folding it in. Alright guys, we've achieved the body of the shirt and we've also made the overlapping plackets. The next step is to make the shirt's collar. So I'm going to fold the shirt into two as shown to take the neck measurements. So the round neck measurement is 9 inches. Since it's on fold, if I multiply it by 2, that's 18 inches altogether. But in a case whereby you want it to be wider than that, you can just trim it a little. But I usually use 18 inches as a standard round neck for a small and a medium sized person. For the shirt collar, the interfacing I'll be making use of is called a gum stay. Remember that when we got the round neck measurements, the shirt was folded into two. So that is the reason why I also folded this interfacing into two. So the round neck measurement of the shirt is 9 inches. Now I placed my tape on the bottom of this gum stay to mark 9 inches. The next step is to mark the midpoint of this 9 inches line. That will be 4.5 inches. Now on this 9 inches point, I'll place my tape above that point to mark half an inch, which will be connected to the midpoint as shown. Please take note that this is for the collar band of the main collar. The next step is to mark the collar band height. The collar band height I'll be working with is 1.5 inches, but you can make yours 1 inch. Just it depends on how high you want the collar band to be, but I'm making use of 1.5 inches. So it's either the collar band is as high as 1.5 inches or as low as 1 inch. So this is all for the collar band. For the collar stand, I'll also be working with the round neck measurement. The round neck measurement is 9 inches, so I placed my tape here to mark 9 inches, and the collar height I'll be working with is 2.5 inches. To get the shape of the collar spread, I'll place my tape on this edge to mark 1 inch. Now I will extend this point to this angle. The next step is to shape the collar so that the collar band can fit in properly. So I placed my tape here to mark ½ inch to connect it to this tip as shown. So you can either use a curved ruler if you want the collar to be a little curved, but if you want it to be straight, you should use a straight ruler to connect the points together. Or better still, my next tutorial on how to make a shirt dress, I'll be showing you how to use a straight ruler to connect the 2 points together so you can see the slight difference. So So kindly put on a notification bell to be notified when I upload a new tutorial on how to cut a shirt dress. Before pressing the interfacing on the fabric, make sure you notch the center lower part of the interfacing so it won't be confusing when it's time to attach the collar band to the main collar. The next step is to place both the collar band and the main collar on the fabric to cut two pieces for each interfacing. Obviously, you can see I pressed the interfacing on the wrong side of the fabric, and I also made sure that I left about 1/4 inch on the sides for the collar allowance. So this is the right side of the collar stand facing. I'll be placing the other piece which has the interfacing on it. Secure the sides by 1/4 inch, but I won't be securing the lower parts of the collar stand. Now I'm going to turn the collar stand to the right side of the fabric. I'll take this collar to my sewing machine to secure the edges by 1/4 inch as shown. So initially I said that you should make sure that you notch the center of both the collar band and also the center point of the collar stand in order to make the placement accurately. So now I have placed my collar band on the collar stand. I'm also going to spread out one piece of the collar band as shown to place them on each other, making sure that the collar stand is in between the collar band as shown. Now to secure the sides, I'm going to fold this edge of the interfacing by 0.5 inches to secure the whole side by 1/4 inch, and when I get to the other edge of the interfacing, I'll fold it in by 0.5 inches. After making the collar, the next step is to attach the collar to the shirt. So to attach the collar band to the round neck, you need to be very careful. So this part of the collar band without the interfacing will be placed on the wrong side of the round neck as shown to secure it by 1/2 inch. Or better still, let me show you guys how to attach the collar to the shirt using my sewing machine. So now I'm going to turn this to the right side of the fabric to close the collar band by making a straight stitch on the edges of the band as shown. So we have come to the end of this tutorial, and the next tutorial will be on how to make a shirt sleeve. So kindly put on your notification bell to be notified when I upload the next tutorial. If you have your buttons, you should attach them to the left side of the placket, and you should also make the buttonhole on the right side of the placket. But I won't be showing you how to make the buttonhole because I'll be taking it to where I make my industrial buttonhole. Alright guys, I hope this tutorial was helpful. You should give it a try, and if you're new to my channel, kindly subscribe, share and like my videos, and also put on your notification bell to be notified when I upload new videos. Thank you for watching to the very end.